What's up, YouTube? Tony coming back at you with the Mississippi Pickers. Welcome back to the blog. I know I look a little weird today because I don't have the dark glasses on and no hat. My hair is getting a little funky. Yeah, it's not great. It is what it is, as Taco Stacks is so fond of saying. But anyway, the reason for this episode is just to tell you that I've decided to start listing again. I'm not selling yet, but I am listing. I'm gonna start selling as soon as they come out with something. It's probably a little paranoid on my part, but I mean, at this point in my life, I don't have to do this right now. You know, I'm not depending on this for income. It would be nice to have the income, but I'm not dependent on it. So, since I'm not dependent on it, I don't feel like I feel like it would be an unnecessary risk right now for me to put myself out there and maybe, come down with the old dreaded corona. And I just don't think that's a good idea. Now, we've been shut down since March of this year. And it's probably going to stay shut down at least till the end of November. It depends on when they release some kind of vaccine or therapeutic. That's all we're really waiting on. But in the meantime, I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to start listing again. I've got almost 400 things listed. I need to get to 600. I was having trouble gaining ground before because every time I started or I list something, it would sell. Well, I mean, that's a good problem to have, right? But at the same time, I was constantly in a battle to try to gain ground. Well, all this time that we've been shut down, I could have been listing things and getting my store up to that 1,000 where I want it. But, well, I didn't. I just took the time off and I enjoyed it. Now, I'm almost 60 years old. I mean, I have a birthday coming up in November and I will be 59 years old. And one more year, right? You know, the funny thing is, I don't feel 59. I don't feel like I'm in my late 50s or, almost 60s. I don't feel old. Don't ever get old, YouTube. Never. Because it sucks. I've been lucky. I haven't had any major illnesses. And I see people that I went to school with, they look like old people. They look like old people. And I probably, to most of you, if you're younger, I probably look like an old person too. But you know what? I don't feel like one. And when I see them, I'm like, man, what happened to you? I mean, if you're my age, you can relate. You see some of your old classmates and you're like, what the hell happened? You didn't look like that the last time I saw you, which was probably 30 years ago, 40 years ago, Anyway, I digress. I'm getting back into selling again, and I just took the measurements and photographed this pair of Levi's here. And I was going to tell you, every time I put something up, I put it in one of these little plastic bags. This is a 15 by 12 poly bag, and these are great. Now, I don't put the tape, normally you would put these down like this and put a piece of tape across them. But I don't put the tape on until after I sell them. And the reason I do that is so I can pull it out, make sure I got the right pair of pants. I'm my camera is not quite as tall as me. Let me raise you guys up a little bit. There we go. I think my head was getting cut off there. Maybe a little bit more. All right, there we go. Anyway, yeah, the reason I put these in bags is not only because it looks better when the customer gets them, but it seems to preserve, you know, the item, the pair of pants or the shirt or whatever. It seems to preserve it in a much better state. They don't seem to get any smells or, you know, any weird odors or anything like that if you keep them in these bags in a nice climate-controlled environment, which they probably wouldn't anyway, I don't guess. But I've had a lot of success with these, and the people that received clothing from us really seem to appreciate the fact that we took the time to put each individual item in one of these. So, something to think about, right? Throw that in my box over there. But anyway, yeah. I'm not going to make this a long video. I'm just going to show you one thing. I've got a pair of Carhartts here I'm fixing to list. Where is it? That's what the Carhartt logo looks like. I'm sure most of you know that, but if you're new to selling, Carhartt is a good brand. That's one to look for. And I would say Carhartt, men and women, but mostly I like to sell men's Carhartts simply because they sell faster and for more money. This particular pair of Carhartts will go for probably around somewhere between $25 and $30. Now that's with shipping. That's my price. I mean, other people would probably, you know, even go higher than I do. Some would go lower, but I like to sell these for around $25 with shipping. I think that's a fair price for a good used pair of Carhartt jeans. You can do what you want to. That's what I do. Let me show you how I list these. I have this nice little board. Well, it's a curtain back here, and I just hang it right off the top of that. See? I don't have a proper thing for my for my camera, but I got this. This was supposed to hold my cards for the Island View Casino. I don't know if you can read that. Let me get it twisted just right. For the Island View Casino, which we don't go to anymore, but makes a nice little camera strap, right? But anyway, yeah, just put them up there. I photographed the front, the back, and then I photographed the inside tag, and I also photographed the logo on the back of the pants. And that's pretty much all that I photograph when it comes to jeans. And then I put in the waist, I put in the inseam, and also the rise. Now, my wife says I should be putting in, you know, the hips on women's pants, and I've never done that, but I may start. I've got to do a little bit more research to figure out. I think it's like right, almost when you get to the bottom of the zipper, not below the zipper, but right at the bottom of the zipper. I think if you go across the pants at that point from side to side, I think that's the hips. But I got to do a little bit more research to make sure. So don't quote me on that one. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting back into it. I figure I'm going to get to 600 before I open my store back up. At least get to 600. That way it'll be easier for me to get to that 1,000, which is my goal. That's my first goal. I mean, I want more than that, obviously, but I'm going to have to, at some point, I'm going to have to hire somebody to help me do the listings because I am extremely slow at getting, I can do the photographs, I can take the measurements, and I get all that knocked out in one night. But then when it comes to doing the actual listing, I don't know, something in my soul just says no. I can't get it done. And that's really the part that bogs me down the most, is just getting things listed. I need help with that, but I'm going to hire somebody at some point. I'm going to have to, because there's just no way I can do it all by myself. Now, I had my wife helping me at one time, but she's got a job now. I mean, not like me, where my job is only like maybe 2-3 hours a night. Sometimes 4. I can even go as much as 5 hours on my job, but that's my choice. If I decide to stay there for 5 hours, that's because I decided to stay there. Now, as much as I like the job that I'm doing, it is 7 days a week. I only have 1 day a year off. I have Christmas off. So that does take me away from doing this, quite a bit. But still, even though I work that job for, 3 hours a night, basically, it's a lot easier for me to do this than it is for my wife, because she's there for 8 hours a night. Well, yeah, 8 hours. She doesn't take a lunch break, so she's there for 8 hours a night. But anyway, I'm doing it by myself, so I have to do all this stuff alone. And if you're doing it by yourself, you know where I'm coming from. This is really hard for one person to do. You got to take the photographs, you got to do the measurements, you got to do the listing, and that's hard. So it's just tough. But I mean, I'm going to get through it, and I know I can push myself to get 200 listings done. I know I can do that. So once I get to 600, which I'm right at 400 right now, but once I get to 600, I think I'm going to call it and just go ahead and open the store back up at that point. But I'm not going to open it back up until I hit 600, because it's a lot easier to maintain ground than to try to gain ground when you're selling, as you know. So if you're selling, say, 50, 60 things a month, then, you got to list 50 or 60 things just to replace that stuff. And then on top of that, you've got to list, another 50 or 60 things just to gain ground. So it's hard. So you're having to double up. Whatever you sell, you have to relist that stuff just to replenish it, and then you have to list more stuff to gain ground. So I've decided I'm just going to wait until I hit 600. And then, man, yeah, I know, I need a shave. I haven't had my hair cut. I haven't shaved. I'm in pandemic mode, okay? But yeah, I'm listening again. I'm going to get to 600. When I get to 600, I'll let you guys know. And I've got another video coming out pretty soon. It's not quite ready yet, but I think you're going to enjoy it. I'll give you a little teaser. We found a whole bunch of stuff at a dumpster. That video's coming soon. I have to get it all together. It's not ready yet, but it's coming soon. So stay tuned. See you guys next time. Bye.